Welcome back to AP Daily. In today's topic 3.3, we're looking at if-else statements, going one step farther than we went in topic 3.2 with the if. We're looking still at the branching of logical processes. This time we're going to have a two-way branch with a true or false condition, as we have both the if side or the else condition. So here's my illustration that I hope will trigger you mentally as you begin to write code. You can kind of think of things as a diagram. Could be false on the left and true on the right. It doesn't matter at all. I just happen to set it up in this format with true and false. So the condition will be the same as it might have been in the previous topic 3.1. We have this condition, if my age is greater than Jill's age, except that in this particular condition, we have something that's going to happen if it is found to be true and a different else thing that's going to happen if the condition is found to be false. So let's look at this in program code. So I use a tweak on the same scenario. Age is still 16, and it's going to print out what the age is. And if the age is greater than or equal to 16, it will print, you can learn to drive a car. Maybe you can drive a car at 16 where you live. Else, it's going to say you're not old enough to drive a car. But is that actually the right statement? Probably not. You might be old enough to drive a car. You just may not drive a car yet. I did want to point out one thing while I'm on this slide before I begin to point certain things out about it. If the program statement that an if or else, well, particularly an if, is going to execute is only one instruction, like you see in this slide, I would not technically have to have the brackets. Java wouldn't require that. I typically, me personally, I put the brackets anyway because usually we have a sequence of things that is happening inside an if statement. So it's rare sometimes if you only have the one thing. So that may be something teachers that you teach toward, or that you happen to know, or students you may be saying out loud, why do you have those brackets? I just tend to put them anyway, and that way if I go back and edit my code and add more of a sequence right here, I'm good with my brackets. So if you're talking out loud to me, I heard you. So here's the condition. If my age is greater than or equal to 16, here's my else, except that in this case, you're going to see in a minute how it becomes more accurate as you go. Current age is 16, you can drive a car, and that would be true if it were 19 or 18 or 22 or whatever, if you wanted to. Now let's change the code a little bit and look at making it where we'll invoke our else situation. The age is not greater than or equal to 16, therefore it's going to bypass my if and go down to my else. And then you should get the proper statement. So what I'd like for you to do is pause the video and maybe add a few variables of your own or conditions of your own and create some test cases that will satisfy or actually test both the if condition or the else condition. And maybe you want to change the scenario altogether and, think about food, or winning a football game, or, playing soccer or whatever. Make your own batch of code and then come back after you've tested. Okay, hopefully you saw in your code that not only were you able to manipulate the variables and the condition of your if statement to invoke different paths of your program, but also that you're able to add more statements in and get your code to do a little bit more customizing. All right, so from today's topic, 3.3, the if-else, you do need to know that we're looking for, again, a Boolean true or a Boolean false, and based on that, it's going to pick which portions of the code execute. Now, I hope you join me in the next video for 3.3 where we go back to our Magpies, Bo and JJ, and see what they're talking about in our chatbot lab. See you there.